This is the Nightshade Cult, a podcast macabre.
We bid you welcome. Enter freely and of your own will.
I'm Nick Grimm.
And I'm David Graves.
We'll be your horror hosts for this dissection of John Fawcett's 2000 teen horror black comedy Ginger Snaps.
Good evening.
So, you had not seen this before.
Correct.
I saw it probably whenever it came out on video or DVD here in the States, which I think is 2001.
Okay.
Pretty right away because I was hyped to see it. Because I remember like the Monster magazine, like Rue Morgue and stuff like that, had been hyping that movie since it premiered at the Toronto Film Festival the year before.
Yeah, it's very Canadian.
Oh yeah, it is so Canadian. Like that's something
You can't forget that it's in Canada at any point.
that was so lost on me. I think watching it in the 2000s, watching it now, the knuckleness of it all is so plain. Like there's a lot of hockey, you know, and like even just the architecture, those sort of British row houses outside Toronto. It's a very distinctive, very, very Canadian sort of movie.
Yeah, I like that. I like Canada. I've got a lot of friends up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just kind of struck me. And this movie starts like, it was like, I didn't know what to expect. Of course, it's a werewolf movie or whatever. It's apparent on the posters. Like, so for if you haven't seen it, you see the poster and it's got kind of a foxy, werewolfy faced girl, and you are to understand this is a teen girl werewolf movie.
Yeah,
and it starts just brutally with a slaughtered and dismembered family dog. You're like, whoa, dang, this movie goes hard right to start,
and it never lets up on dogs. In
Yeah.
fact, it seemed the movie has a serious grudge against dogs.
Yeah, you'd think they were like werewolves or something.
Yeah, it was like so many dogs are brutally dismembered in this movie, and I'd totally forgotten about that. I was going to say, since the time when I saw this movie, when it was just sort of a direct-to-video, low-budget horror movie, now it is a revered cult classic. Like,
yeah, definitely.
It is. It's become super influential, and like there's it has. You always talk about the ratings on stuff at the end, but it's got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
and it's like, wow, it's just weird how this one, it really struck a chord with people, and people feel passionately about this movie.
And if you look up like movie websites like top 10 werewolf movies or whatever, this is always on it.
It's on every single list. Yeah,
it's crazy because it's just a low budget independent Canadian horror movie.
But I think no matter what, the thing that's going to make it unique is just that it is so female focused. It's a female protagonist, or two of them, depending on how you divvy that up. Female writer, and it's got some interesting ideas. Like, it's definitely has lofty ambitions
for sure. And this movie also is just sort of like steeped in the time, like the fashion and the music and everything. So this is so
Y2K.
Yeah, this definitely could never be misplaced as a different era. Like it's so wearing its time on its sleeve.
Yeah, it is, and it's because the girl that plays Bridget is like a year older than me, and Ginger's a little bit younger than us. Although it's reversed in the movie. Ginger's the older sister, but she's played by the younger actor. But like, so when I saw this movie, I was much closer to the same age as these girls than watching it now, where they seem like children, and the angst is like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Whereas,
it's
like,
off the charts.
It was very relatable at the time of watching it, and now watching it, and you're like, oh, kids, just just relax a little bit.
Yeah. Watching it, like, I could definitely see how if you saw this at the time, it would be like, okay, yeah, these girls are relatable with how they're just total edgelords.
Oh yeah.
But just watching it as an adult, I was like, yeah, could you possibly figure out a way to be more dramatic?
Yeah.
I don't know if you could.
Yeah, you sort of watching it now. I find I almost feel embarrassed for them for how dramatic how they are,
how over the top
and angsty, because it's like I could totally see myself as being very good friends with these girls growing up.
Absolutely. I was never as dramatic as these two, but I would, that kind of like the clothes that they wore, the style, the outcast high school thing, whatever. That was totally us, right? We went to different schools, but it was definitely like these would have been in our clique.
Yeah, because I told Lisa when we were watching it, I was like, if I went to that school, I'd be in these dead pictures with them. And she goes, you did take dead pictures in high school. Yeah. And I was like, oh. And I was like, really, did I? And she's like, I've seen one of you sprawled out on the ground like you're dead.
Yeah, I think I've seen that picture too.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I did do that. I guess that's why these girls seem so relatable.
Yeah, for sure. They're relatable for people who are, younger Gen X or older millennial.
Yeah.
These are our people for sure. And if you ever wore a black trench coat or black eyeliner or black nail polish, these are your people.
Yeah, for sure. Well, why don't we roll the music and we'll come back with our address. A pair of morbid, late-blooming teen sisters have their relationship tested when one of them begins blossoming into a woman as well as into a werewolf.
Yeah, all at once. It's just sort of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, you want to say it's a metaphor, right? Like they're using the lycanthropy as a metaphor for puberty. But metaphor feels like the wrong word because of it's like...
I think metaphor would imply a little bit of subtlety. This is like so unsubtle, it just hits you.
Yeah, it really hammers you with it. So it doesn't feel like a metaphor. It is just...
the theme.
It's the theme of the movie is puberty and
lycanthropy. Same thing.
They're the same thing.
They are the same thing. Yeah. So normally I say how much this movie was made for and how much it made at the box office. It was made for about 4.5 to 5 mil, depending on the source. And there's really no box office on this. It's just it's just straight to video.
Yeah, because it got a limited theatrical release in Canada and other Commonwealth countries like the UK and Australia. And then it just was dead in the water in the States. They just didn't really get any distribution until it played at like a New York Film Festival. And then from that point, they were contacted and they're like, who's your US distributor? We want to show this movie more. And he's like, I'll just mail you my print if you pay the cost of shipping on it.
We don't have a distributor.
Yeah, and so it played at this New York festival, and then the people at HBO saw that and jumped on it. And then that's really where it kind of came to life in America, was when it started showing on HBO.
Yeah, that's really cool. I guess it's good not to give up on your projects and stuff.
It really did seem, though, like director John Fawcett, like, he basically was like, well, we got it done and it's out there, but
there's $5 million we'll never see again.
Yeah. Well, they're Canadian, so the state subsidizes stuff like this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Their model is fascinating. And that's a source of controversy with this movie because they were producing it or doing pre-production around the time of the Columbine shootings.
Yes.
And so there was a big hubbub about state funds going to a movie that glorified teen school violence.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of stuff about how, having dead teenagers isn't going to play well in the United States, especially.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the tinfoil hat theories as to why it never caught on in the U.S. because no one wanted to touch it.
Yeah. But I think the weird thing is that makes distributors nervous, right? Because they don't want to get burned by it. But that's also, that sort of thing is part of what makes it so relatable to kids when they see it, is it is reflective of their experience in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's interesting because this came out in the U.S., just a little more than a month after 9/11.
Yeah.
And so I guess people were no longer focused on Columbine.
Shootings?
They were just, it was all patriotism all the time. So you could start killing kids again.
In America, we've never stopped.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's a national pastime.
So I mentioned the director is John Fawcett. It's written by Karen Walton. I came up with the story together. He had this idea. He wanted to do a teen werewolf movie, sort of like a Cronenberg-esque body horror thing. And I think he had the idea of tying it to the puberty and the body transformation thing. But he wisely thought, I need a woman to write this.
And so especially if it's going to be about a girl experiencing puberty.
And probably the smartest decision that is made in the production of this movie is hiring Karen Walton to write it. Because I do think it's the sort of the elevated themes of the movie all come from her, I think.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't find it to be all that elevated because it's so straightforward. Like there isn't a lot of
subtlety.
Yeah, they're not like alluding to things. They're just showing you, and this is
it's graphic.
Yeah, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Like it's okay, cool. I mean, I get it. It's rad, but
like we say,
weird.
Like the period thing is such a big. Her first period.
Yeah.
Like they're late bloomers because Ginger's 16 and Bridget is 15, and neither of them have had their period yet.
Yeah.
And then Ginger gets her period, and it's literally like blood splattering on the floor, like very, very visceral portrayal of it.
I mean, and that's pretty hella late blooming. Like, I mean, that's notably late.
Yeah. And they're not even in like some sort of Russian ballet school or one of those things.
Yeah, there's like normal suburbanites going to public school.
They're just willing themselves to not mature because they're in such arrested development.
Yeah.
The themes, it's coming age, puberty, menstruation, teen alienation, codependency is huge. It's a very toxic relationship between these two sisters.
Absolutely.
They kind of made like a suicide pact with each other as like when they were 8 years old or something like that. And Ginger is really constantly pushing this on Bridget, who you can kind of see trying to...
She's kind of not into it anymore.
She wants to get out from under her sister's thumb a little bit, I think. And Ginger just screws down harder every time she tries to get out, and it just gets worse when she becomes a werewolf.
Yeah, it's definitely a codependent, unhealthy relationship. But also, I think another powerful theme in this movie is it's a rarely touched upon exploration of female rage.
Oh yeah,
like this, like oftentimes in movies when female characters or women get angry, they're portrayed as like shrill and unreasonable or whatever. In this movie, it's the core theme. She just gets angry and pissed and hella violent. I mean, it's gnarly.
Yeah, because
like vengeance and punishment.
Yeah, like, kids, especially at that age, have wild mood swings, but they're generally not powerful. You know what I mean?
They're not werewolves.
They're not werewolves, and especially girls don't have the power socially and physically to lash out like this. And so, like, to give this angsty, rage-filled little girl, to give her the sort of power to act on her violent impulses with impunity, and she does. How do we feel about all of the people that get killed? Everyone deserves it. Like, no one deserves it, but everyone does the story justify the people that get killed? That's something I kind of bumped against.
I don't know. I wasn't really trying to evaluate whether or not the victims deserved to die to this, because ultimately in this sort of like rage power fantasy, they're just scenery. They're just mechanisms to demonstrate the erratic nature of this main character.
Interesting. Yeah. Because I feel like there's rules to these sort of stories.
Where should be the bad guys getting it.
So like when she kills the photography teacher / guidance counselor guy, he's set up as an adversary right from the start of the movie. Or when they kill the bully girl, she's been a tormentor since the beginning.
Absolutely.
But like when she kills the janitor, that feels very like unearned. And
he seemed like a pretty chill dude. Like he's just doing his job.
And so I just feel like sometimes it feels like it goes over a lot of lines for me. Like it goes over lines with the dog killing too, where I just feel like
I didn't like that at all.
You're like, this doesn't.
Why are you killing the neighbor's dogs? Like, what'd they ever do?
Yeah, and I don't understand like why being a werewolf would make you kill dogs. Like, so it's one of my favorite things in American Werewolf in London when David wakes up in the wolf enclosure at the zoo.
Yeah,
and he's just been sleeping with the wolves, and it just sort of like. That to me seems more like werewolf behavior than I go around the neighborhood and kill all the dogs.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, that's not what a wolf would do.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know about the actual deaths, but I do think that a lot of the characters in this movie are pretty well developed. Like you feel like you know these characters, and that's because the writing is really good. Like you can understand both of these sisters. They're not just like one note characters. You understand particularly their mom. You can kind of figure out what she's all about, and dad kind of checked out. You know, like these are some really well written characters that are identifiable.
Yeah, and feel like whole, complete people.
Yeah, people you could easily meet.
And everyone is messy, like super messy. And, like Sam, who's like our male lead teenage drug dealer, he seems to have a good heart. We hear that he's like a cherry hound or whatever, that he only goes after virgins, but that doesn't come from a reliable source. You never see him behave that way.
Yeah, it's just kind of coming from one of his haters.
Yeah. But the sort of the guy that's already graduated but is hanging around the high school and still selling drugs to kids is not really like a hero type character.
No,
you know what I mean?
I definitely think that the 19, 20-year-old guy that's selling weed to 16-year-old girls is kind of a loser.
Yeah.
But this guy is kind of charming. Like he
seems to have a good heart.
Yeah, he's immediately sort of likable, even though you think you can rationalize that he's kind of a scumbag.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't seem to do hard drugs. He's
just weed.
He's driving his gardening van, and he works at the greenhouse, and he has sort of got a side hustle in the greenhouse where he grows weed there and sells it to the kids.
And I mean, these days it's legal in these places, not for 16-year-old kids.
Not to sell it to kids.
Yeah, but I mean, just on the scale of drugs, he's selling something that has now been legalized for recreational use. Yeah, and it's not like he's like slanging fent. Yeah, exactly. Like he's just kind of a little bit of a douchebag.
It's one of those things. If he is still doing R.I.P. to our guy Sam. But if Sam has survived, and if he was still doing this in another 20 years, then you're like,
to the same 16-year-olds.
They've moved on. The
new 16-year-olds.
The new 16-year-olds. Then that would be bad. But like he's in that point where you're like, you got to stop hanging around the high school.
Yeah.
Like you've moved too far. Like next year you turn 21. That's too far. You can't hang around these kids anymore.
For sure. Yeah, I think that character in particular was one that I was like, I kind of like Sam, but I also understand that this dude's messy and he's not he's not exactly a good dude, but I could definitely have been friends with a dude like that and I would have been one of the ones saying, why are you hanging out with high school girls?
Because there'd be that point where, like, if you're peers with him and you're like, he's like, well, I'm gonna swing by the school and sell a bag to this kid, and they're like, the school where we graduated from 3 years ago? He's like, yeah, that school. There's no one we even went to school with that still goes there. Why are you hanging around that school?
Yeah.
Well, I sell them weed, and I host a big Halloween party that they all come to. And it's like, oh, Sam. You know?
Yeah, and it's like minimally, like, selling weed is going to get you in trouble with the law, but selling it to kids has got to be worse.
Yeah.
It's got to get you in trouble worse.
Yeah, but the thing is, they like it so much.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, so I guess we'll talk more about that when we get to the cast and everything. Mm-hmm. But some really fascinating, messy characters to explore there.
Yeah.
Suicidal ideation, that's a huge thing. This suicide pact they have. Like, one of the first images we see of Ginger is her, like, mock cutting her arm.
Yeah.
And then she's like, wrists are for girls. You have to go for the throat.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so cringe, so edgy.
Yeah, so cringy. Like, I definitely was like, okay, whatever, kid.
Well, I guess we're kind of getting into visuals already.
Yeah.
You want to talk visuals?
I think Tom Best did the cinematography pretty dang good. It's shot really well.
It's got some really good shots. It's just really well composed. And I feel like it does some really cool, like, visual homages to a lot of different movies, like American Werewolf in London. It obviously borrows liberally from the imagery of that movie.
Absolutely.
When they're in the grocery store looking at the wall of tampons, I thought of the grocery store in Repo Man where Otto works.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't make that connection, but
and so I just think, like, it's really well made, and I was sort of surprised that the director hasn't done a whole lot more since this, like, theatrically.
Yeah.
He works, like, he's part of, like, the Canadian TV machine.
Okay.
Like CW shows and stuff like that, but just, like, hasn't made a ton of films, just 3 films.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I really like the way this movie looks from the cinematography, but I also really like how they, like, the places they shot, like, this suburban aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's just bleak. It's kind of a soul-crushing, same house neighborhood.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what Tim Burton does in his, like Edward Scissorhands, but it's not so ham-fisted. It's shown, and it's very clear what's going on, that this is just a boring cookie cutter thing, but it's not as cheesy and cartoony.
Because it's those brick, square, British style row houses, as opposed to, like, the American suburban fake niceness. There's something, they have this sort of utilitarian, brutalist sort of architecture that makes it feel even more oppressive. Yeah. Like, you feel, like, institutionalized.
Yeah, I also really like, speaking of sets and stuff, I mean, like, they put a lot of thought into these places, like the girls' bedroom, their little sanctuary, kind of, it's filled with all their, like, morbid art projects and various things. It's just like a really, really well thought out set design. Yeah, and you imagine
probably they could have normal bedrooms upstairs.
Yeah.
But they have chosen to live in the unfinished basement in their little hovel where they can share space with each other and do their weird stuff.
They like the concrete walls and exposed studs and stuff. They definitely are into the lo-fi.
Yeah. And that's a good segue to talk. The production design is by Todd Chernowski. Polish name's tough. And art direction by Mary Wilkeson. and the costume design's by Leah Carlson, but it seems like a lot of people did their own costuming.
Yeah, they sort of wore their own 90s goth stuff.
Or like bought clothing, like Mimi Rogers, that plays the mom. She put together her wardrobe and everything.
Wow.
She had an idea of the character, and so I think people had a lot of influence over the look and aesthetics of their own characters.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't know that. I like that when actors get to really influence the way a character looks. I think that's really cool.
And in a low budget film, you're just thanking them for taking something off the bottom line. When you just go
absolutely.
like, I went to JCPenney's and I bought all these Christmas or Halloween sweaters or whatever.
Yeah,
perfect. You're a mensch. You're really helping us out here. SFX artist Paul Jones designed the werewolf, both the Beast of Bagley Downs or Bailey Downs, and then the ginger wolf at the end. How do we feel about this werewolf? They went hairless werewolf. Bold move.
Yeah, I generally don't prefer hairless rat style werewolves.
I don't like that at all.
I like the ginger werewolf better than the other one.
Because of the nipples.
Well, nah, I just thought that she was, maybe it's just because I was a little more invested in the character. Like, I just thought she was, look badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, these werewolves, I like practical effects, but I think that they made some interesting decisions with the design.
Yeah, in watching some of the behind the scenes stuff, Paul Jones really wanted to get as much hair on the wolf as he could, and it was a tension between him and the director Fawcett.
The director didn't want hair.
He wanted a totally hairless werewolf. That was his.
That's weird.
And Paul Jones said that they had to have some hair just to hide where the zippers and connections.
The seams, yeah.
So there had to be some hair, and like in the behind the scenes thing, he says he says, I'm going to fight for as much hair as I can get. Like, I want more hair than not.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, I think werewolves are hairy. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
They're fuzzy.
But Fawcett had more of this. He said he was really inspired by, like, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Okay.
And Cronenberg's The Fly. And he
just wanted it to be a weird body horror.
Yeah, he wanted more of a gruesome, like grotesque body horror thing than like something that looks like a giant wolf.
Okay. I mean, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't agree with the choice. Like, just fundamentally, when I see that werewolf, I just think like, God, it would look so much. It would look like the American Werewolf and London Werewolf if it had hair on it.
Yeah.
Because it's got the same stance and like it's that kind of wolf, but they just, went hairless.
Yeah, it's weird when movie makers decide to make a bold choice, like in Salem's Lot, making the vampire blue.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, hairless werewolf. No, that's something that I always bump up against in the underworld movies too, because those werewolves are pretty hairless.
They're partially hairy.
Yeah, and it's like not until you get to the prequel movie, like where you see full on furry werewolves. But like the first Underworld, those sewer werewolves are very.
I generally like that movie though. I like the Underworld movies. They're pretty cool.
They're fun. Those are fun movies, and that's got to be in the air at this time, right? That's an early 2000s thing.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's got Matrix black leather, It's,
for sure. It is. It's post Matrix, and that's 99. So yeah,
it's got to be.
I would looked up Tom Best, like his IMDb. Again, lots of TV. Like these people have not done a ton of movies besides this. They're just mostly making television.
They made their riches off of this, and now they're set for life. They just do it for the love of the small screen. Riches,
well, it's good money. It's good money shooting and steady money just shooting TV shows in Canada. No, obviously. Actually, you know what? I bet some riches have been made off of this movie because it's a constant DVD seller.
Oh, yeah.
And that's good. That's good business. And HBO paid good royalties, I'm sure, back in the day.
Absolutely. I bet you they made a little cash.
Yeah, a lot of money was made off of this, and then you can do the convention thing forever.
Oh yeah,
I'm
sure, especially the actress that played Ginger, she's always gonna be a perennial. Just
go and do you can charge probably $80-$90 for a photo op.
Damn, people pay that?
Oh yeah, people pay a lot. If you get both girls, probably like $150 or something like that.
That's less money for each girl than if they did $80 $90 a piece.
Yeah.
But
there's money. That's a lot of money to be had out there.
Yeah, you see a lot of people post those pictures with them and some nerd celebrity. Mm-hmm. I guess they got to be making the cash.
Yeah, I've known people with just walls covered in those pictures. Just with them with like every Star Trek crew and just
I don't like standing in lines. That's a big problem.
There's very few people that it means enough to me to do that.
Yeah. So who would you stand next to?
Well, I mean, the only one I have is the picture of me with Elvira.
Oh, okay, yeah. Elvira, that's a good one.
Yeah, I don't.
It would be cool. I mean, Richard Baker's really cool. It would be. I doubt he does conventions.
Yeah, Rick Baker.
Yeah.
I mean, he does things. I definitely I've seen him in person, but I've
never got a picture with him.
Yeah, but I went when he came and hosted a screening of Harry and the Hendersons at the Hollywood Theater.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's one of his very best suits that he made.
I mean, it's cool, but the movie's not scary. So
no, it's not a scary movie, but it's a family movie. It's not supposed to be scary.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Oh, Harry and the Hendersons. It's a classic. That's a great movie.
I've seen it 1,000 times.
Yeah, it holds up. Everyone still laughs at all the funny stuff, and that suit is crazy. Like, he really looks like a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And from the time that movie came out, that's what Bigfoot looks like.
Oh yeah.
Harry just became like that was a documentary about Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a documentary.
It was really another Northwest classic. Yeah. So shall we move on to audio?
Yeah.
Sound design is by Dave McCallum. Original music by Michael Shields. Mm-hmm. And then we have a banger Y2K Roadrunner Records soundtrack.
Yeah, I even listed all the tracks here on my notes. We got so many good bands. Like we got Godhead and Killswitch Engage, Soulfly with Chino Moreno.
Yeah.
Fear Factory, Machine Head, Hatebreed, Shadows Fall, Junkie XL, Cradle of Filth. I left off some crappy ones, but there are some. Yeah, there are a lot of good bands on here.
Yeah, and we covered kind of every subgenre of alternative metal,
like black metal, hardcore, thrash metal,
post-hardcore, industrial metal, grunge metal,
like there's a number of bands
new wave
on this
American
list
heavy metal
that I am a legitimate fan of. Like I've been a ride or die fan of Fear Factory forever. Mm-hmm. We've recently saw Hatebreed together. I love Shadows Fall. Killswitch Engage is great. Soulfly, we've seen them a couple of times.
Cradle of Filth.
Yeah, I've seen them a couple of times.
Yeah, and because I listened to the soundtrack several times, I've always sort of written off Saliva, but that song kind of grew on me. It's very grungy.
They're like a generic grunge rock and roll band of the time. I
thought they were good. I met the guys in Godhead one time, and they're super nice. And that song kind of has grown on me. Project 86, I didn't know, but if you were one of those Y2K thrift shopping kids that wears the wide leg pants and Affliction shirts now, if you pulled out a Project 86 CD and slapped that in your Honda Civic while you're driving around with your other thrift store friends, they'd be like, who is this? It sounds like Rage Against the Machine, but I've never heard it before.
But better.
Yeah, you're like, this is Project 86 or 86. They're pretty obscure, so you haven't heard of them? So, it is a pretty great soundtrack. And then for Michael Shields, really just does sort of the intro and outro music and a few cues. It's his first film score that he did, and it's good. It's really good for someone who hasn't done a ton of this. He quits himself admirably.
Yeah, I have no problems with this at all. The music, not just the needle drops. I think the soundtrack and the score they're some of the high points of this movie. They're really good.
And David McCallum's sound design, like it's a loud movie.
It's like viscerally disgusting.
Yeah, there's some gross sounds. There's tons of screaming.
Lots of screaming.
Yeah, scream, splat, crunch. Like it's good solid work on the sound.
The creatures, the werewolf vocalizations are done really well. They're like roars and snarls and growls and all these kind of animalistic predator sounds all together. Yeah, it's really good.
A lot of fun. It's everyone. I'm just kind of shocked these people haven't done. No, it doesn't seem like anyone in this has done a ton of movies since then, and you would sort of imagine everyone going on to kind of bigger and better things.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like a lot of them did that. It seemed like they've just sort of stayed there in Toronto or Vancouver doing
just making money and staying in the
steady
industry.
Work.
Yeah.
It's just a different idea, different concept. We're just trucking along, talking about
move
performances.
On to the performances. What do you think? Emily Perkins as Bridget Fitzgerald.
Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, she's kind of the hero of the movie.
She is
the little sister.
Definitely the strongest actor of the teens.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a really good performance. You just have to tie them together. Catherine Isabelle as Ginger Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
The dichotomy between them is fascinating. How Ginger sort of drags Bridget through everything and pushes her to do things.
Yeah.
Will abandon her at kind of the drop of a hat, but will shame her relentlessly for quote unquote abandoning her when she goes to try and find help.
She's pretty darn toxic.
Yeah, but in a very realistic
it's a
way.
Believable bullying big sister way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the character of Bridget. She's kind of the nerdy, introverted younger sister who, she's the girl who wears like the oversized hoodie and has the dark hair. It's kind of frazzled. She's just like, it's like you went to school with a girl like this. Oh, for sure.
And so she, little backstory, they went out to Vancouver to see her because both girls are from British Columbia. They went out to see her, and they just, when they made the call, like, okay, these are our girls. Let's go and make the offer. They flew back to Vancouver, and Emily Perkins had shaved her head.
Wow.
Which is why she has a wig on through the whole movie. But
why did she shave her head?
Because she's a teen girl, like an angsty teen girl, or young, early 20s. But it's like everything that makes her the perfect girl for this part is why she's just shaved her head while she's waiting to hear back from these directors that want her with her long dark hair.
It's funny, I sometimes will, especially when the actor is young in the performance, I'll Google them and kind of read up on what their life is about, and she's kind of like a boring middle-aged mom now. Which is fine. Like I'm friends with lots of people like that.
We've all heard that's what
we're all a boring middle-aged guy, but it's like there's no edge lady left in there. She just looks totally normal.
It's true, but she is still like when I watched the interviews with her, like she's still very intelligent and like that's still in there. That weird goth girl is still in there.
There's a little snark,
a little beneath the surface. I think it just She's become the Mimi Rogers. Like she's become the mom that they don't think is cool, but is actually pretty.
It's actually pretty cool. Yeah. Whereas Catherine Isabelle, who played Ginger, she actually still kind of looks a little scene whatever, because she went on and made a bunch more movies. Yeah. So she kind of became sort of a horror starlet, I guess. I don't know what you would call that.
I mean, the two girls made two more of these movies. They made a sequel and a prequel that they filmed back to back.
Yeah, I think most people notice the character of Ginger more because she's up front. She's but I think
she's more assertive.
Yeah, the performance. I think Bridget's performance was the stronger performance.
Yeah, I think, and it's more natural, and it's just I I don't know, more grounded and relatable.
For sure.
Next, after those girls, I've got Chris Limche as Sam Miller.
Yeah.
He's a little bit of a heartthrob for the horror girls, too.
Yeah, the drug dealing, slightly older guy.
Yeah. He's also in one of the Final Destination movies.
Okay.
So he's kind of made a career of doing these horror movies, too.
He's got a van. That's a big deal.
I really like this kid a lot. And it had been so long since I watched it that I had forgotten that he dies brutally. Yeah. And so I was really sort of rooting for Sam to make it out.
I was hoping he'd become a werewolf.
Yeah. I mean, he was on his way.
Yeah.
And then Bridget screwed the whole deal when she threw up his blood and because she couldn't keep up the ruse anymore.
Yeah, Bridget.
And Ginger just went for the throat after that.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Bridget.
They could have all been werewolves.
Yeah.
Even, what's his name? The other kid, Jason.
Yeah, I thought that kid sucked.
So, yeah, we also talked about Mimi Rogers as Pam Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
The disenfranchised mom. She's in a
loveless marriage.
Yeah, they're in counseling, but she's very quick when, she thinks her daughters are murderers. Will blow up the house and leave and start over, and they're like, "What about Dad?" And she's like, "He would just blame me anyway."
Yeah,
she's
absolutely.
completely willing to explode her husband in the house.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, I'm not convinced he's that bad. A little absent, but not. I don't think he's explodable, or he's done anything exploding.
Yeah, he's kind of a crappy dad, but that's not worth murdering him for.
Yeah, probably not. Just a divorce and.
Or just ghost him. Whatever.
Just take off. Yeah.
Start a new life.
But I think blowing up the houses will get rid of a lot of the evidence, probably. Yeah. So, yeah, Mimi Rogers, kind of one of the only, name actors in the whole movie. Someone that you know that she's in, the Austin Powers movies, was married to Tom Cruise.
Yeah, she's done a lot of things.
She's, an actual sort of famous person. Next, I've got Jesse Moss as Jason McCarty.
Yeah, this character is kind of the douchebag jock who becomes a werewolf.
Yeah. I really like because they take the sort of puberty metaphor and they apply it to Jason as well. So when he becomes a werewolf, he gets really bad cystic acne.
Yeah, those are so gross. I actually low-key hated that. I was like, oh, I can't even look at this guy. The acne is so huge. Obviously, it's monster movie huge. Yeah. It's not just like a person.
It is, it's repugnant.
It's so gross.
But I thought it was... It's a very good portrayal of sort of boy puberty versus girl puberty, where Ginger becomes sort of voluptuous and sexy, and he becomes like a
absolutely
disgusting blob boy.
Yeah,
it's he's likable is the wrong word. He's a very good douchebag. He does it really well.
Yeah, he is very successful at playing a douchey, kind of cocky dickhead.
Yeah. So I think back in the day, we see him and his two goons, and they're watching the girls play field hockey and basically just sexually harassing them from the stands.
Yeah.
And there is no adult pushback on this at all.
Yeah. I don't think that's realistic. I mean, even at my high school, the PE coaches would have said they would have said can it or if you can talk you can run, seriously, that's what they would have said. They'd have blown the whistle at him.
They wouldn't have got in trouble, but they would have
been shooed away or made to run at my school.
Yeah, that seems realistic. Yeah, it just sort of the comments seemed like the sort of things that shitty boys would say.
Absolutely.
But the impunity that they operated with just
really
bad.
And the PE teacher in that case was a woman who definitely wouldn't have accepted that.
But there was also a dead dog on the field that no one noticed until they fell on it.
That's true.
So they're very not observant.
Pretty checked out. Yeah, maybe the Canadian school system has something to answer for.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, yeah, and Ginger is literally smoking in PE.
On the field, yeah.
Yeah, nobody's paying attention to anything.
This during PE, or is this the field hockey team at practice after school?
I can't imagine that both sisters would go out for the team.
Oh, that's true.
I think the only reason they would ever play field hockey is if
it was
forced to.
And they're forced to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're not, you're right. They don't have extracurriculars besides faking their own
photography is their hobby.
That's the one hobby they have. Who do we have next? Oh, the girl bully. Danielle Hampton as Trina Sinclair.
Yeah. She's a mean girl.
She is. Probably didn't deserve to die and get buried under the shed. Like, that's probably it's in excess of her crimes.
Yeah, well, this is a horror movie. You just gotta assume that this is sort of like a cartoon. This is bizarro world logic.
She's a bully and she has to get punished.
Yeah, and the best punishment if you're a werewolf, death.
Death. Yeah, it's that's true. And then John Bourgeois as Henry Fitzgerald, the checked out dad.
Yeah, crappy dad. I mean, I've met lots of people's dads that were just like this.
Yeah. He doesn't like any of this. He doesn't like what the girls get up to, but he doesn't feel like he has a voice in it.
Yeah, he probably, I can just imagine he wished he had a son, but then he had 2 daughters and he was cool. He tried to be a good dad, but then his daughters turned out to be like weirdo losers, and he's just sort of like, well, whatever. Mom ruined him.
Yeah. He's like, I guess I'm just going to pour myself another giant glass of wine and trudge through this meal.
Yeah, I still do know many middle-aged dudes who are functional alcoholics just like that. Yeah. Every day they're getting housed.
Yeah. Well, sit down to mashed potatoes or whatever, and you're like, why don't I just pour a whole bottle of wine into this giant glass?
Yeah, you guys might want to get another bottle. This one's for me.
Yeah. And then Mom and I are going to go to our counseling that I'm not participating in.
Then I'm going to sit through as she whines and gets this lady to gang up on me.
Boy, yeah, I think, but this again, even though he doesn't even have hardly that much dialogue in the movie,
you know who he is.
You know exactly who this guy is and everything about him. Like, it's so clear in just the little bit that they have.
Yeah.
Anyone else we want to talk about? Like Peter Callaghan as Mr. Wayne, the teacher and guidance counselor that gets brutally murdered.
It was so crazy because he's also the photography teacher, right?
Right, yeah.
So like he sees their video essay or whatever they call it, and
which is supposed to portray what life in Bailey Downs is like.
Yeah, he's so flabbergasted, and I was not sure, was he about to, is he like, oh my God, this is amazing? No, he says this is terrible or whatever.
He's like, obviously I'm disturbed and disgusted. Or
see, like if I were seeing a kid's video essay or something like that, and I saw that and it was just utterly disturbing, I would be like, wow, that is amazing work. I want to talk to you about it. That's super cool. Yeah. And move on. I was expecting him to like it.
Yeah.
Because I liked it.
He has a whole weird, and I think maybe there's sort of deleted scenes. I think that he has like weird creepy feelings towards Ginger.
He's a creep.
Yeah. And so like the way he reacts, where he's sort of like, it seems like he's into it, and then he's like, well, obviously I'm disgusted by this and I want you to see me after class.
Really, he's disgusted by himself.
Yeah. I think that maybe that's what's there. It's not totally there in the finished product, but I think that might be the implication of it.
Okay. Well, he gets his.
Yeah, and I think that that's part of like why he gets his comeuppance in the way he does, is because he's supposed to be kind of a creep.
Okay.
But you can deleted scenes are deleted, and then you can't assume that they happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's just a mean, bad teacher.
Yeah.
In what actually made the movie.
Yeah, because it may be like if the student, like I remember I had a writing teacher that was concerned about stuff that I wrote and wanted to talk to me about it in like a constructive and like, I can tell you're having feelings and what do you want to talk about this, like that sort of thing. Like not like you're in trouble because what you wrote disturbed me.
Yeah,
you know, like which would be the appropriate way to handle it, to kind of reach out. Is like, are is everything all right at home? Like,
Absolutely.
What are you trying to express here?
Yeah, there's a whole protocols to work through when that sort of thing comes down. But yeah, I think that's most of the main characters. There's a couple of little bit parts.
Yeah, like the school nurse and the janitor who gets unfairly murdered.
Yeah, rip janitor.
Byron Bully as hockey kid. Heartbreaking, like that chubby little kid in his skates and like his full gear, walking out there to feed his dog in the morning, and the dog has been half eaten by Ginger.
Yeah, I think that was really rough. Like I'm pretty anti dead dogs.
It's very upsetting. Dead dogs are really really upsetting. Actually, the last person we need to talk about is Nick Nolan, who played both the Beast of Bailey Downs and the Ginger Wolf.
Okay.
Thankless job. He gets hit by a car. He gets stabbed, but it's no fun being in a rubber monster suit. And he gives a pretty scary performance. Both of them. He's a pretty scary werewolf.
I agree.
All right. Personal highlight.
This one's hard. I didn't feel like there were a lot of specific scenes that really stuck out to me as like,
oh, I love that.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to generally go with the two leads. I think that the sisters, the Fitzgerald sisters are my personal highlight. I think the performances were super good. They were really on point. Like I feel like I could have known those people.
Yeah, and they're real girls.
Yeah, and the fact that this is kind of an exploration of topics that are not normally explored in these kind of movies.
Yeah.
With female leads, female rage, puberty, these kind of things. Like, who would have thought you'd have a period movie?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. I think that is brave filmmaking, and these two leads, they really did a great job. So I think that this is kind of a story of two sisters, and they were what captivated me more so than even the werewolf storyline.
Yeah.
So what about you?
Something very similar, but not exactly the same. Because there's not like a standout sequence where it's like, I love this one sequence of the movie. But the scenes and sequences that I do really enjoy are the ones with Sam and Bridget.
Okay.
Because Bridget is disturbed. She's keen right away that her sister is turning into a werewolf. And when she meets Sam, he's like, because she's like, what did you hit with your van? And he's like, looked like a lycanthrope to me. And she's like, well, really? You see a lot of werewolves? And then they both have that thing where like he dropped a word that he didn't think this girl was going to know. But she knew it. And they're like, wait,
picked it right up.
Are we the same kind of weird? And it's like, turns out we are. Well, I'm going to come over to your weird greenhouse and we're going to Scooby-Doo this and figure out how to cure a werewolf.
Yeah, and Ginger thought he was creeping on her little sister.
Yeah, but that's just jealousy. You know what I mean? Like, because Bridget really starts to become her own person. Like, Sam just sort of helps facilitate her.
Yeah.
And whereas Ginger tells her what to do and kind of like holds her down, Sam helps her realize herself.
Yeah, I think Sam is just a good friend at this point.
And he's just like, well, here's all of my weird occult books. Here's all the stuff I know about about herbology and growing plants and stuff.
Yeah, they got to get this wolfsbane variant thing.
And it's like, and he just becomes like, he's not a savior character. He's just a helper. He just helps.
He's a helper, and he dies.
And he dies for he really like he risks his life to help this girl, and catches it for that one. It's the Sam and Bridget Scooby-Doo gang stuff that I really like.
That's a good one.
What worked for you?
Overall, I love the late 90s vibes in this movie. I love the fashion. I love the music. I like just the overall edgy style of the kids. It's exaggerated, of course. It's a movie, but that's their
fashion isn't really
no. I mean the edginess and the behaviors, but like the fashion is right on, and just the style. And I just feel like this was a time capsule of a movie,
sure.
and I'm from that time, so I really liked it. And then I thought the practical effects makeup was really cool. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of the kind of hairless werewolf, but I do like kind of the partial transformation things they did, like the growing a tail and the like when her face is kind of like wolfed up a bit, but she's not fully transformed.
Her penultimate form when she goes to the Halloween party and
her glabro form.
Yeah, fair glabro. She has she has kind of like a heavy brow ridge and a wolfy nose and fangs and all white hair and contacts in. She
looks really cool.
Yeah, that one is really cool. And you're like, that's pretty cool werewolf right there.
I thought that was rad.
If it peaked and stayed right there, it wouldn't be that bad to be a werewolf.
Yeah, just give her bigger fangs and some claws and call that the werewolf form. Yeah. Good to go. And then I mentioned it as my personal highlight. I thought that the casting and performances were really good in this movie.
Right on.
So what about you? What were for you?
Similar. I think the authentic Y2K teen angst vibe is super strong and realistic. Like, it very much feels like edgy kids of the era authentically portrayed.
Even the term Y2K feels dated.
That's that. If check your hashtags on Instagram, that's the one that gets used now to refer to the time period. Yeah. The puberty metaphor. It seems obvious, but it is a great body transformation. Puberty, it just works really well. It's effective, and even though it seems it's heavy-handed, it works really effectively. And the comedy, I think the movie is hilarious. A lot of the time, there's really funny parts to it, like where I would laugh. Like when I call it a black comedy, like it reminds me of things like Heathers. It just has that sort of humor to it, really dark humor. And I think that horror works best when it is paired with a little comedy.
Okay.
What didn't work for you?
It's pretty slow in the middle. It's got a nice lull. Like, it starts off harsh and it ends pretty harsh. The middle is a little bit flat.
Yeah.
And so the pacing, I didn't like that. Yeah. And then next, I think that the metaphor for puberty in lycanthropy is super on the nose. I'm fine with the metaphor, but they hammer it. They just hammer it and hammer it. It's a little overdone. It's just kind of eh. And then finally, dead dogs don't work for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
It's well established, right? The audience does not forgive the killing of a dog. I think there's a book. You're
supposed to pet the dog, save the cat.
Yeah, there's a book called "Don't Kill the Dog." The rare times, like John Wick, like where killing a dog is essential to the plot, killing one dog kicks off a 4-movie revenge spree.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean. And this movie kills 5-6 dogs.
Not cool.
And it's like. And when I look at, because most of the reviews of this movie are so positive, and so I'm scrolling through Letterboxd, like looking for bad reviews. When you get to a bad review, they're going to talk about the dog killing. Yeah. Certain people, and myself, I'm one of these people, really bump up hard against mutilating dogs. It's just like, and I'm just like, why? I just don't get it.
Mutilate people.
Oh, mutilate dogs. People, or like things that a wolf would chase. Deer, rabbits.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of raccoons. Like,
if they had found like a dead deer in someone's yard, that would have been great.
Yeah. Because you're like, oh, looks like a wolf killed it. But it's like, not that a wolf would never kill a dog, but generally a wolf is kind of just a big dog.
Well, yeah, and the dogs dead they were dismembered and mutilated.
Yeah. Not eaten.
Yeah.
Just killed. So anyways, too much dog killing. Piggybacking on that, the tone shifts, even though I said just a little bit ago that the humor is one of my favorite parts of it. It's wild, the swings that it takes from something very funny to something viscerally disturbing, like a mutilated dog. Like, because it's like it just like yo-yos you so far, and it's like it's sort of Buffy the Vampire Slayer style humor, and then a dismembered dog, and you're like, those things just don't go. Like that just doesn't. You're going too far in either direction to bring me back to the other one effectively. You've disgusted me. Now you can't make me laugh immediately afterwards, or I was just laughing and then you show me something disturbing, and it's like that's too much. Like you've gone too far. You put too much. Everyone likes salt. You put too much salt on it. Yeah. And that's it. That's really, and it's kind of all the one thing. I just don't like all the dog killing. It really bothers me. Final thoughts and rating.
I'm definitely positive on this movie in general, but I think this is for a specific audience. This is for people who are into this Y2K time frame mojo, and specifically people that are into kind of low budget horror movies. Not general population. This is not what I would just say, hey, you should watch this, you're gonna love it, to anybody. So I'm giving it 3 stars.
Yeah, I think I was actually prepared to go with a 2. And I think I've talked myself up into the 3. I gave a 3 to Friday the 13th, and I 100% say this is a better movie than Friday the 13th. I think it's better made, better written, better acted, better everything than that movie.
Yeah, I talked a mess of shit about that movie.
Yeah, so if that's a 3, then this is definitely a 3.
They're in the same category, though. They're for specific people.
Yeah.
They're good if that's your thing, and they are both wildly influential in their subgenres. I mean, Friday the 13th even more so.
Yeah,
but,
kicks off a franchise. Both of them started a franchise and had many imitators.
Yeah, and you can't really say, like, if you're Googling best werewolf movies or whatever, if this is on everybody's top 10 list, it's at least a 3.
It's at least a 3, yeah.
So
you gotta stomach like 6 dead dogs.
Yeah, I'm just not into, especially that golden retriever. That's just not cool. Have you ever met a golden retriever that wasn't a sweetheart?
No, and when it's before she kills it, but Ginger kicks that Rottweiler.
And
I hated that too. I was like, I've never met a Rottweiler that wasn't a sweetheart.
Yeah, they're always nice.
Yeah, and she kicked it. You kicked it. Dog. I can't. I'm so much more okay with you hiding a girl in your freezer than kicking a dog.
I mean, it's because we're into horror movies. Certain things are like murder is part and parcel.
Yeah.
But animal cruelty
is just never okay.
That's just not it's cool. You got to be a real weirdo.
Yeah. Personal highlight. I loved when she picks up that dead dog and the leg comes off.
I can't imagine someone just loving that shit.
What about when the little boy is playing in his sandbox and he picks up the paw of his own dog?
He finds his dead dog's foot.
Yeah, and it gets the blood on his face.
And his mom is utterly horrified. Yeah, that's a hilarious great one.
That was such a good scene.
So IMDb gives this a 6.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 90%, which is way out of whack.
Well,
and Letterboxd is 3.6.
So what that means is 90% of the reviews are positive.
Yeah.
That does not mean like everyone's giving it a 9 out of 10. It could be a lot of 3-star reviews.
That's true. That's true. I think that this movie, most people either give it a 3 or a 4. If you're really loving it, you're giving it a 4. But most people, it seems like we're right on it.
Okay, cool. Why don't we take a break and we'll come back with the Vault of Darkness. Before we delve into the Vault of Darkness, we ask that all initiates of the cult follow us on your favorite social media platforms at Nightshade Cult.
If you've enjoyed this content, help us grow the cult by sharing it with like-minded people wherever you listen.
Do you have any dark tidings?
Just the Spooky Show Wednesday season 2 is out. I think a lot of our cultists might be interested in that.
Yeah, that's got a teen werewolf girl.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I thought it was kind of a similar vibes. Kind of a colorful girl and a ginger werewolf. And
what is the werewolf girl and Wednesday. What's her name?
I can't remember.
Yeah. But she's sweet.
She's her roommate, and she's a good friend. And I've watched it, and I've watched all the released episodes, and it seems to be. It's just kind of a different vibe than the first season. It feels a little more like, I don't know, like over the top. Like It's a little more cartoon everything. Like it's
more than the first. I thought the first season was very.
It's even more than that.
Okay,
like
wow.
It's next level. Like this could have been an animated movie. It's just that much stuff.
Okay,
it's crazy. Tim Burton does not mess around. So I like it, but I'm not sure I love it. I guess
but you were pretty up on the.
Yeah,
first
I like
season.
the first one.
Okay.
So what about you? Anything?
I mean, this will be old news by the time this episode airs. But the great Brent Hines passed away in a motorcycle accident.
That's a real bummer because he's a really great guitar player.
Yeah, and only 51 years old, which
just a spry youth.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much older than me, so it's oof. Yeah, and. It's just a real bummer because he was a great talent, and he had just recently split with Mastodon, and it was acrimonious.
Yeah,
and it's just sad for him to pass away when things are bad with him and his bros.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he'll definitely be missed. He's a singular artist
for sure.
What are you pulling out of the vault?
Well, I got a vampire book.
Oh, okay.
This one recommended by Ted, one of our OG best loyal cultists of all time. This is called Already Dead by Charlie Houston, and it is a pulp noir horror novel, according to the interwebs.
That seems like something that you would like and that Cultist Ted would like.
Absolutely. He recommended this series to me. It's the Joe Pitt series. That's the titular character. He is a vampire in New York, and he is kind of a everyman. He's downtrodden. He's not a member of any of the vampire factions. He's kind of go-between. He's kind of a little mercenary, a little detective, a little bit people extorting him and like forcing him to do stuff. And he's charged with solving this weird kind of zombie epidemic. Like somebody's infecting these people who are turning into zombies, and then he has to find this. He ends up getting hired to find a missing girl because he kind of is known for being like a fix-it man. Like he just sort of solves problems from the underworld side of things, and things just go sideways from there. It's a really great first book, and I'm pretty sure this is first book in a series.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure this one is included if you have an Audible subscription.
Oh, nice.
So it was great, and I liked it enough. I immediately got the second one, which is called No Dominion, and powered right through it, and I really enjoyed it. It's a different take on vampires than you're used to. They're not quite as powerful as you'd think.
Okay.
As in other, they're not godlike in power. He gets his ass kicked quite a fair bit, and
it's more like a Cassidy from Preacher kind of.
Yeah,
vampire.
He's kind of like Cassidy's sort of power level.
Okay.
There are more powerful vampires. He's not one of them. It's really good. I was really happy with the recommendation, and I'm going to continue. I'm going to finish it. I don't know if I'm going to finish all the novels, but I'm going to definitely get the next one. I switched back to Dungeon Crawler Carl for one, and then I'll go back to Joe Pitt and kind of palate cleanser, But yeah, I'm really enjoying the Joe Pitt novels by Charlie Houston. So how about you? What are you pulling out of the vault?
I also got a book, not a novel. It is
a funny book.
No, it's more of a production diary, and it is called Rebel Without a Crew by Robert Rodriguez. And it is the subtitle of it is How a 23-year-old filmmaker with $7,000 became a Hollywood player.
Okay.
It is his production diary for kind of the time leading up to and the production of El Mariachi, and then trying to kind of find distribution for that movie, and then it kind of becoming a festival hit, and him becoming like an actual movie director.
That's cool.
And it is because he kept a daily diary all through that time period, and so and he narrates the audiobook. I listened to it on Audible.
Oh yeah.
And he kind of adds annotations, like things that he thinks of when he's reading it, which is, it's always fun when an author will do that.
Oh yeah, I read several books like that, and I enjoy it quite a lot.
And he's a really good writer, which I shouldn't be surprised by, but I was really kind of gripped by this like I was reading a novel, like a piece of fiction, because it is sort of wild how he makes things work, because he does everything himself, essentially, and he comes up with this scheme while he's in film school to shoot a low-budget action movie and sell it to the Spanish language VHS market, which was a big thing at the time period. Mm-hmm. And he kind of thinks, I can get practice, I can shoot movies and get practice making movies, and then when I show up, trying to get jobs in Hollywood, I'll have a great demo reel that I can show, and I'll have actually shot like 3 movies. And it just so happens that the first movie he makes ends up making him famous right from the start, essentially.
Yeah.
But he was just planning on doing this and selling it for $20,000 to the Spanish video market.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and just like, I was captivated by this book. I found it really fascinating, and then I watched El Mariachi immediately after finishing it, with like detailed information of the behind the scenes of every single sequence in the movie, and just sort of be like, oh, they did this, like, and they borrowed these guns from the Mexican police, and like, it just like all the sort of crazy stuff that they did to get that movie made. So if you're interested, I thought it paired well with Ginger Snaps, because it's also a low budget independent movie,
and we just did Dusk Till Dawn.
It was sort of, he was fresh on my mind that way, and so I thought it's a very, very interesting book if you're interested in the making of movies at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm super, if that one is calling to me, but I will say that recently reading nonfiction books has really piqued my interest. I haven't brought them all up on the podcast, but I have listened to several Old West biographies in the last month or two. Stuff, I know a fair bit at this point, because I've just been going back and forth. Anyway, I do like listening to biographies a lot.
El Mariachi is definitely a Western. Like, it's very...
A modern Western.
A modern Western, yeah. Although now it's 30 years old, right?
Modern era. It's all the same. We'd like to thank you for joining the Nightshade Cult.
Until we meet again, we're wishing you unpleasant dreams.